Hello and welcome to the midweek trading day right here, and it's the trading day right after the MPC decision, which was a dovish hike yesterday, about 25 basis points. But let's get to the top stories that set to agenda. Oil prices have steadied in early trade today, with markets assessing the potential impact of a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah and ahead of Sunday's OPEC Plus meeting that's coming up. But we see a pullback there for Brent, 0.2%, $72.79 a barrel. Then we see the U.S. grade there, $68.73, down 0.1%, reversing the gains that we saw in the markets yesterday. Both benchmarks settled lower. That was for Tuesday evening after Israel agreed to a ceasefire deal. So we see geopolitics there. No geopolitics, then the prices come down. You see geopolitical tension, then the prices go up. Let's get a check on the FX market. For the NAFEX rate, weakened about 8 naira 27 kobo, down 0.49%, but there was strength for NFM. And yes, and that was the close after the 25 basis points rate hike. So we see strengthening there, 0.97%. For Naira, 1,659 Naira to the dollar. Still that trading range between 1,650 to 1,670. And yeah, the central bank governor, Olaimi Cardoso, has pledged to intensify efforts to fight inflation. Speaking after the 298th monetary policy meeting in Abuja, he reaffirmed the CBN's commitment to orthodox monetary policy, stating there's no going back. Cardoso explained that monetary measures take time to yield results, with significant impact expected by the first quarter of 2025. He assured Nigerians of the CBN's determination to achieve long-term economic stability, and the governor says plans are underway to address structural issues like supply disruptions and infrastructure deficits. He also adds that the bank is working to remove distortions in the foreign exchange market for a fair Naira valuation. Meanwhile, the Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise warns that the CBN's continued monetary tightening could worsen challenges in key sectors like air transport and textiles, which remain in recession. The CEO of CPPE, Dr. Muda Yusuf, raises concerns over weak third-quarter GDP growth. He notes that the agricultural sector grew by just 1.14%, manufacturing about 0.92%, while financial services, that surged by 32%, exposing a disconnect with the real economy. CPP is calling for increased monetary and fiscal support for struggling sectors, and they're urging the CBN to strengthen its support for development finance institutions to address financing gaps caused by the tight monetary policy. And the Harcourt Refinery has officially resumed crude oil processing, with truck loading commencing during a brief ceremony at the refinery in the River State capital. The group CEO of the NNPCL, Mr. Mele Kiara, described the commencement of the load-out activities as a monumental achievement for the country, which signifies a new era for energy independence and economic growth. Take a listen.
That our team, the NNPC workers, combined with our contractors, our management, our board of directors have come together with the support of Mr. President. It's very important to know that you can't do this without leadership support and encouragement. And with that combination, this plan has come live today. It's going to solve some of the energy security issues in our country, and we are very proud that this has been done, and it's really a very fulfilling moment, this moment for everyone working in NNPC, and also to our shareholders, that we have delivered value to our shareholders, and this is what they expect from us, and we're happy today has happened. There's no other way of describing it than saying we have delivered what we say we're going to do, but more importantly, this country has shown that we're capable of doing many, many more great things in this country. No, our plant is running. This plant is almost new now. We have no fears around the sustainability of this plant. This plant will run. We don't even think of this. What capacity? It's a 60,000 barrels part of the refinery that we have fixed now, and then we are completing the other part of it very soon. We cannot discuss pricing on this platform. Thank you.
Right, so reactions upon reactions trailing the coming online of the Harcourt Refinery seems to have moved from celebration to so many questions at this point. Well, let's explore this in Nigeria's oil and gas infrastructure. Join us for the conversation. We have Mr. Abel Wobodo, is the Managing Director, Phenomenal Energy, joining me via Zoom. Great to have you on the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Laddie, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So so much ado about blending, refining. Why do you think the NNPCL, emphasize that blending is a globally accepted practice in refining?
Yes, thanks, Ladi. Perhaps before I talk about blending and how it works and why it's globally accepted, permit me to give a little bit overview of this refinery so that our viewers can have a better grasp of what it used to be and what we're looking forward to. Be reminded that we have two refineries in Port Harcourt. One was installed in 1965, and it has a capacity of about 60,000 barrels. I mean, that's about what the James was talking about. That has been done, and that has a crude distillation unit, catalytic forming unit, and equally an LPG plant, right? And the other one has about was done in 1989 and has a capacity of about 150,000 barrels per day, and has similar units. In addition was the naphtha and the catalytic reforming unit that was added. And so the refineries we have in Port Harcourt, both we have a compound.
All right, yeah, I guess Mr. Wodo got frozen there. We'll try and get Mr. Wodo back. Okay, all right, I think we lost you for a moment there, but you can continue with your thoughts.
Okay, yeah, so I mean, I was talking about that the Port Harcourt refinery has a combined capacity of 210,000 barrels. Okay, so the 60,000 barrels units that the GMD spoke about, blending is accepted because if some of your units are not functional at the moment, you can blend up on the point where all the other twins are, up and running. Then you can, stop the blending and then do everything internally within the refinery. So the question would be, which of these twins are functional now, and where are they, in terms of the refurbishment and turnaround maintenance of the other facilities? So that will give us a better grasp of where we are and the kind of expectations we and Nigerians should have going forward.
What do you think is the catalyst, for the PH refinery coming online at this time? Because we know these refineries have been moribund for the longest time. Is it about, giving Nigerians value at this time, seeing that Nigerians are struggling under high PMS prices and, petroleum products? Or is the Dangote refinery the catalyst here?
Yeah, I mean, also, I will say congrats to the GMD and the government for getting the refineries back and, trying to help ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians in terms of the prevalent economic hardship. But the key question is not just about getting it back. Mind you that it was pristine before, right? It was built and then it went down the way it did. So the key question is, where do we go from here as Nigerians? Where do we go from here as people within the oil and gas sector? Because right now, the expectation will be that the people that will manage this refinery should be professionals, right? Because oil and gas industry, the downstream is the most stringent part of it in terms of cost, right? So there's low margins in refining. And that tells how the government has struggled over time. Because if you don't have people that have, good grasp of cost management, run refineries, in a few months or a few years down the line, we'll still go down to the same place. So yes, we are trying to give support to Nigerians, but how do we achieve it in the long run? Okay, so we need to have people that understand how to run refineries. It's not just in Nigeria, globally. What comes out of the refinery can be classified as, those are consumer products, right? And in things like that, price is the order of the day. So if you don't have people that knows how to manage this, to make the good business calls, and not just chronic capitalism. Because if the government continues with chronic capitalism in how the refineries will be managed, I can tell you for sure that this will be short-lived. And before you know it, those refineries goes down to how it used to be, and then it almost same as if the efforts and the movement will be in vain.
Okay, but with all we're seeing so far, with refineries coming online, we have the Dangote refinery, and expectations that more refineries will come online from what the NNPCL has said. But if the Naira remains where it is, even though we have all the refineries working, does it mean these prices of PMS and other petroleum products will still stay high, regardless of refineries?
Yeah, I mean, you know that the crude oil that is refined is traded on the international market. So the variance of how the international oil market in terms of crude, will affect. But however, since we have local refining capacity, and if we get this one and other ones come on stream, then that means that the added cost, so you have the agency theory, so the added cost of having the agents in between, imported from abroad and all that will be taken away. And that should either help the cost to stabilize now or even go down a little bit. But more importantly is that those that manage the refineries understand how the facilities work and be able to run it professionally and not just appointing people based on, like I said before, crony capitalism. It will not help. Instead of helping to ameliorate, it's going to even worsen, the current suffering of Nigerians.
All right, so let's look at now investment when it comes to oil and gas infrastructure, in Nigeria. We see, I got a headline yesterday that in Kuwait, that we see in Kuwait there, they're targeting production capacity of about 3.2 million barrels per day. They've also announced $33 billion investment plan, and this is the Kuwait Petroleum Corporation. That's equivalent to the NNPC Limited. So, bringing it to Nigeria, what kind of investments do you think we should be looking at? Help us put a price tag on it so that we can actually ramp up production of oil, to get our revenue in check and also have feedstock, for most of these refineries that are coming online.
Yeah, so basically, right now, most of our assets are over 40 years within the oil and gas sector. And Nigeria extracts hydrocarbons from about 332 developed fields, according to the NEPLC. And then the country's pipeline network is about 5,284 kilometers, connecting onshore processing facilities. So right now, for more investment to come in, the international community and even the local players need to understand where we are regarding the assets, right? What facilities are in place? The existing ones, are they well maintained? If they are not, what are their asset integrity conditions, right? But if you have a repository where somebody can access and know that this is what we have. For instance, you have a marginal field, right? The rounds happen and the bids happen, but the rate at which these bid rounds are awarded is not commensurate with the rate at which the fields are developed. Because some of those fields are little are known about them. Some people can bid and not able to ascertain the exact position of those bids. For instance, we spoke about Kuwait, a country like Norway, right? So they have a CMMS system, computer-based management system, where all their infrastructure within the oil and gas country are, deposited in terms of the pipelines, the vessels, the pipings, their conditions. So anybody can have access to it. And then the investors now have a view of what needs to happen. Okay, so if they bring in their money, they know that assets are there to evacuate anything that can be produced. Okay, so the kind of reserve that we will have, the amount of money, even much more than the what you just mentioned now that the Kuwait ministry has attracted, is far beyond what we as Nigerians require right now to get the oil and gas infrastructure going. But before then, the needful needs to be done to ensure that the assets that we have, we are able to itemize them, we know their integrity status, and then anybody investing has that confidence, to come in and put his investments within the sector. Right,
$33 billion, that's definitely a big number. Over 90% of our forex and that's our forex buffer at this point. But thank you so much. It was great having your perspective, Mr. Abel Nwobo, the Managing Director, Phenomenal Energy. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
All righty, now we'll take a break now. When we come back, more conversations. Do stay with us. And joining us is is Adeni Fetayo, the executive producer, megastar, man of the decade. It's great to have you on the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ladi. It's my pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. It's great to have you. So talk to me, what motivated the creation of the Megastar Man of the Decade Award, and how do you determine who makes the list of the honorees?
Yes, it all began 15 years ago. You know, in Nigeria, we make history, but we don't keep a record of history. So we look at those individuals who have been keeping us together, regardless of the economic situation, the government policy. They have been making us proud. They have been making us, supporting the community. And we felt that we should recognize them. We have some of our people who are in the diaspora. When you mention their name, you are excited to be a Nigerian. So we said we should look for a place or an avenue to bring them together so that we can honor them. And of course, we have some foreign nationals who are here in the last decade who have been doing stuff in Nigeria, their services, their products. We want to tell them that they are not an outcast. They are part of Nigeria, so we want to celebrate them. And we came up with a long list. We have a committee. It's very easier for you to start something within a year or for a year when you have resources. But how do you keep it? How do you sustain it? How do you keep the fire burning even when all the ships are down? So that's the reason why we said we need to celebrate them. They have the product, they have the services, they have what they are doing that keep us together as a Nigeria. So that's the basis. And those that make the list, of course, we have from real estate, from tech, from agri, from oil and gas, from education, health sector. We just look at those different sectors, to pinpoint and to spotlight their services, what they have been doing, their contribution, so that they can serve as an inspiration for those younger generation.
All right, and I understand that there will be a panel discussion on the role of social enterprise in driving Nigeria's development. Talk to me about why you chose this topic and who will be on this panel.
Yes, first and foremost, I want to link it just like the video that played. One of my favorite quotes of all time is former American president during his inaugural famous speech, John F. Kennedy, who said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country." These are the people who have contributed so much from private sector, from NGO, from even government agency. It's very easier for people, when you attain the position of authority, you can do anyhow, but you think of people first. So that is what we want to encourage. We have the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice in Nasarawa, that's Labara Shuaibu, will be joining us, and my own mentor, Chief Dele Momodu, who have transformed the lifestyle journalism in Nigeria. Being a journalist transform even this social media of a thing, and he will also be joining us on that panel. And one of the one of the fantastic senator that we have for the National Assembly, talking about Prince Ned Nwoko. You remember through his initiative, he was able to get Paris and London refund back to Nigeria. Also, we have Senator Adams Ali Oshomole, someone who have been in a labor force and transformed to governors and all of that. So it's going to be rich, and it will be hosted by CNN Stephanie Busari. That's the senior editor of CNN for Africa, Stephanie Busari, on that day. So we also have some people in attendance. It's very easy to come up, have a fantastic discussion. We have some students joining us from University of Abuja so that they can learn from story. All these things, you can't get them from four walls of classroom. So those are the things that I want to do. And when you are talking about social enterprise, we are talking about being selfless. I believe that was what John F. Kennedy was saying. And for God, if you can look at it, even God is a social entrepreneur, giving us the abundance of sun, giving us the abundance of rain, abundance of air that we breathe, solar energy and all of that. So we are just saying, wherever you are, wherever you operate, you can do little thing at a time to affect the life of community or those around you.
Right, and we do need that, selfless mentality in Nigeria right now from all classes, at this point. But, talking about the panels, we've had so many panel discussions. and I've moderated so many, but often no real action follows. How do you plan to make your panel session different?
Yes, we want to lead by example. That's why we chose a public school where we say, okay, we can't just have this an event. They are needed furniture. I personally visited the school here in Abuja, where we noticed that pupils were mud pop and they don't have enough furniture. We did that for them, and the principal called me that the little gesture that we did, it makes 200 pupils to sit down conveniently to learn under, a conducive environment. And also, you remember, just of recent, we have an outbreak of cholera. We thought we have gone past that. And I went to that same school. There are about 3 schools in the same compound. Over 2,000 pupils, they are sharing 3 toilets. So we said, no, let's build them a toilet. It's ongoing now. I believe before December 1st, where we're going to be having our event, it should be completed. So we want to lead by example. We want to show them that you can adopt, even if you cannot do 20 furnitures, even if it's 5, even if it's 1, like they said, a drop of water makes mighty ocean. That if you can lead by example, it will be very easier for others to follow. So we want to use Megastar Man of the Decade Award, to show to them that you can serve anywhere you are and you can lead by example.
All right, but before I let you go, what is the criteria for getting involved or supporting the award, especially since it's tied to CSR initiatives, and what can we all expect from this one?
Yeah, SDG 3 and 4 talks about education and health, and thank God for those spirited individuals who have reached out, like the group CEO of Gas Group International, Barrister Glyphant Winigwe, who has really generously supported the cause that we are doing, because he saw what we are doing and he felt that he can be part of it. And we have, of course, the chairman of West Canton Hotel, Mr. Samuel Okumbo, who have been very supportive, and with the little resources that we have, we still need more. We cannot do it all, because I know I have access to these, the rich, the famous, the influential individual. Those children, those peoples, they might not have access to them. So I'm just using the access, to meet their needs. And we still want some corporate bodies, individual, to come up and support what we are doing. They said a drop of water makes mighty ocean. Your 1,000 naira, your 10,000 naira can save a lot.
And beyond your role as executive producer of the Megastar, Man of the Decade Award, what other endeavors do you engage in?
Yes, I'm an award-winning celebrity journalist and a media consultant. I celebrate people, business, and events. Yes, we have so many issues in Nigeria, but I want to touch light, those little wins that we have, those who are doing great stuff, those who are making Nigeria a better place. It's not all the time we're talking about issues, social vices that affect our community. Let's spotlight. I'm well-traveled. Even this issue that we are talking about in Nigeria also happen abroad, but they put more light on the good thing that is going for them. So that is what I do, telling our story. Like they said, sometimes if you don't blow your trumpet, nobody will blow them for you. So what I basically do is to, give your brand an exposure, give your brand visibility, positive brand perception, taking your news, your story, your whatever product, your services that you are doing, across the globe, not just only in Nigeria, international TV, newspaper, magazine, and all of that. So if you want to get your product, your services, or your profile around the world, I'm the man you need to contact so that I can do that for you.
All right, thank you so much. I hope at some point you make me a man of some decade. At some point. Well, thank you so much. It was great having you on the show. Adeni Ifeta is the executive producer, Megastar Man of the Decade, and publisher Megastar Magazine. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, and thanks for Channels TV for this opportunity.
All righty then. Well, we're going to be heading on to other matters now, but here's one quick one. I'll be back again on Business Incorporated.
Media Communications proudly presents the Megastar Man of the Decade Award. Theme: Social Enterprise, a catalyst for development in Nigeria. Join us on December 1, 2024 at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Asokoro, Abuja at 4 p.m. for a celebration of brilliance. This year's honorees include His Excellency President Paul Kagame, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, late Captain Hosa Okumbo, Mike Adenuga, Senator Ned Roko, Chief Dele Momodu, and music star Teni Makanaki, amongst others. Special guest of honor, His Majesty Ogiame Atwase III, Oluobori Kingdom. Be part of this spectacular night of inspiration. For more information, visit www.megastar.awards.org or call 0705-311-1111. The Megastar Man of the Decade Awards, celebrating excellence and consistency. Supported by Ritz-Carlton Hotel and Apartments, God's Group, Arise Television,